Warm welcome to tonight's live session. Just give me a moment so that I can share this to the other pages. Those who are watching the recording may just forward it for 2 minutes. Greetings, everyone. Let me just share this. I'm almost done. Greetings and pranams to all of you. Yeah, it's been long. I think almost a week that there has been no live. Busy with the Kanyanad retreat. I just arrived today back home and got busy with the next schedule that is there, Kaal Gyan. That is for tomorrow. We are beginning it tomorrow. Looking forward to the ripe souls. Not expecting much crowd because I know these kind of documents and these kind of deeper wisdoms. Maybe we may not be able to catch what it is or even fathom what it is all about, or even the interest. We may not have the interest in that. That's all fine. We are just going spontaneously with whoever can relate with this. Something like Kalagyan, because Kalagyan is one of the highest texts that has been rendered. But for some reason, I don't know, it has stayed very secret. Thanks to Arunachala, thanks to Ramana, whose efforts in getting all these deep scriptures that reveal so much. It reveals so much. All the deep secrets, and this kind of jnana which is there is the ultimatum gyan. These are the ultimate wisdom. I'm not mincing my words or telling anything more than I have to, but I'm sure all those who are in the path of liberation will understand the importance of this, because this is what is called as the pathless path, Kalajnana, revealed by Lord Shiva to Parvati. Kalajnana, Kaal, as you know, time. It's all beyond time and space. So these wisdoms come from that space of Mahakala. Because anything between that comes in the catch of time and space is dual. Duality, which is the language that maximum, maybe even 98% of the population understand, or even more. It's very difficult for one to fathom deeper truths. And Bhagwan Nityananda in Chidakasha Gita very clearly says that one among 1 million, one among 1 million or 10 lakhs can actually have the vasana for Sat, the truth. I'm not saying this again. In Chidakasha Gita, if you open and see, Bhagavan is clearly telling that 1 out of 1 million crave for soul realization. That is what I was telling the team. We had 22 people all together in Kanjangad retreat. And I was telling each of them, even to forget realizations, even to sit and have the earnest feeling to understand about this text itself is your worthiness for self realization. And Bhagavan did not say 1 out of 1 million get self realized. He said 1 out of 1 million have the craving for self realization. So you can understand in this. That is why I was telling the whole team. I always tell this, don't expect much crowd here, and we are not crowd gatherers, anyways. We are not interested because I have seen a lot of crowd in my past 25 years. It's not that the crowd is doing anything wrong. I don't say that. They're all doing it. Yeah, they're all doing. But it still has its own limitations. Only when one is ready to transcend about the doing, above the doing, above the paths, can actually even think of this, because most of the time truths like pathless path do not we do not understand, because all that we have seen in our life is paths and religions and communities, and it's a worldwide kind of a whole community event, and we always see masses doing certain things. That is how religion came into being, and in spirituality that is how groups and paths and communities and societies and all those things came into being. So those are all general groups following a general belief system or a general concept. You will see in all these, the masses, group masses following a certain thing will have a certain concept. Certain concepts are there, and everything revolves around that concept. All the paths also revolve around that. Not that it is wrong or anything. They are all meant to be, because this is how the divinity unfolds itself. When divinity, these are all divinity plans, the manifestation of the divinity only. And these are routes that take us back to the source. But these are all rivers. Every river is flowing towards the final goal of the ocean. So all the rivers have its own importance. All the rivers must be respected, must be given the due respect, and is highly worthy of our attention and gratefulness. But then, as I say, the rivers do flow. Our blockage or our limitations are when we only know or want to know about the rivers. We know how powerful the rivers are and with what force they can take you to the final goal. But what we do not know or what we do not want to know is that the river is not the goal. River is just a medium towards the goal. And all these texts that I'm doing now, or we have been doing all these months, talks all about the ocean. Nothing talks about the river. So it might confuse us a little bit, because all that we have heard is only about rivers, the mighty rivers. Maybe we have not had interest to go up to the ocean because the ocean is so vast. It can be scary. It can be scary because our identities are with rivers. That's why I mean, but that is what I mean by only ripe souls will understand it, because the souls who are reaching close to the ocean can anticipate the ocean. They know that the journey is ending or about to end at the rivers, and soon they will be merged into the ocean, which is limitless and infinite and beyond all shapes and destinations. We had a great time in Kanangad contemplating on very deep aspects of Chidakasha Gita, and I had no idea how it will unfold. As every retreat, all surrendered to Bhagwan's feet. We just sat there at his feet. So many things happened. All the 3 days were very less, in fact. Our days would begin very early, something like 4 a.m. or 5. There were times we woke up at 3:30 also on the second day, and our activities would continue till 11 a.m., almost 10:30, 11 at night. And the only breaks we took was for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that too at the ashram, half an hour break, just the half an hour break. And then we were back to our sessions, deep sessions, contemplations, Chidakasha Gita, completely Chidakasha Gita, understanding the secrets of Chidakasha Gita. And even I was boggled because as we meditated and contemplated, so many secrets just came out, because sometimes even I didn't knew that certain texts mean in this manner, but it got so deeply connected. The whole purpose was to identify the Chidakasha in us, and we could do that very successfully. Identifying, not just identifying, but meditating on the Chidakasha and being aware of the Chidakasha, which is what Bhagwan states. The words that he used are different in those days because he spoke in Kannada, Chidakasha Gita. The translators put it, he says, put your attention on Chidakasha, which I can very much translate it is to be aware of your Chidakasha. But the catch is many of us cannot identify what is the Chidakasha or where it is. The book Chidakasha Gita gives a lot of reference, but it can seem confusing. So there was various methods by gratefulness of Bhagwan. I could be able to perceive it in different manner, and then we segmented it out. And when we segmented it and we could continue, we could see the connections. Because Chidakasha Gita is scattered. Pearls, but all scattered. They don't have a sequence. Fortunately, when I was spending 2 to 3 days completely on Chidakasha Gita, the sequence revealed itself. It was very beautiful. I was experimenting with it. And for example, if you have one topic at verse 37, just an example, the next continuity you will find somewhere in 89. And the next continue 131. It goes on like that. So these string of events which are there, once that is identified, of course through his grace only, then it becomes easy, very easy to understand the Chidakasha Gita, and we can understand the theme of Chidakasha Gita. So we had a great time in these 3 days and deep meditations on Chidakasha and awareness sessions. We traveled outside to multiple places also. Bus was arranged, and the whole day we spent outside, and including the visit to the beach also was in deep awareness. I don't know if you saw the video, but if you look at the video, I'm so happy to have such kind of a uh, company of such kind of group, because not a single day anybody wavered out towards the Vishayavasana. I didn't take much time in keeping them glued. Of course, the first day till around half day or till evening, I had to keep reminding a little bit. But by evening, everything was just settled and everybody was just aligned so beautifully. Every session, even when I walked into the room, also everybody was so meditative. I was a little surprised because that doesn't happen usually, because we are scattered. We get easily scattered. But these people, all of them, were in receptive silence and no tiredness, no fatigue, with continuous events, and all are interested and enthusiastic. It is because of them only the sessions went longer. Otherwise, I was supposed to end it earlier. So, as the demand, so the supply. I never pre-decide, or make curriculum for any of the retreats. I leave it to the tattva that is guiding us. Once aligned to that, I'm sure it knows how to guide, because there is no teacher, there is no students, there is no speaker, and there is no listener. These are all just formalities, but very deep things happen when both side there is surrender. Not just one side. I am surrendered because I don't know. I do not claim any of this wisdom mine. It cannot be. It's impossible. All I do is reach out to the ocean. And from there, I don't know how. I have no idea. But I know very surely it flows. And that flow, when it's coming, if the receiving end, if there is good reception with total surrender and alignment to that source, it's so easy, my God. It's so easy that effortlessly it flows and effortlessly is received. And the whole process is so effortless. And it's very easy. It looks very difficult, the whole process, because there's so much of arrangements and things going. But I have never had one tired moment or one kind of moment where I'm having to struggle to think or run somewhere or call up somewhere or do everything. Everything just fits in place. All these retreats. I just go attend. People also just come, attend, and they leave. That's all. And the whole thing has happened. So that's the divine power of divine will. And that is exactly what we are teaching in shifting into awareness. We are all teaching in shifting into awareness that divine will is everything. Free will is ego. Free will has its own limitation. So of course there will be very much doubts, because every retreat I can see a lot of doubts about free will and divine will. And yes, if I'm talking about all this, I'm here to clear those doubts. Anybody is welcome to ask those questions which put a doubt in your mind as to how divine will and how free will happens. What is the purpose of free will and what are the limitations of free will? Free will is always limited. From free will, you can never ascertain or access this wisdom. Free will has its limitations in getting there. It can be only accessed through the divine will. And for that, alignment to the divine will is very much important. The pathless paths which are there, where most of us are scared, because the moment we say there is no road, the question arises, then where do we walk? If there is no path, where do we walk? How do we know where is the goal? because path means goal. Every path has a goal. They have to have a goal, undoubtedly. Just like all the rivers have a goal, they have to have a goal. Even if the river is aware of it or not, they have to have a goal. Who decides this goal? The divine. But we may feel that we are deciding the goal. Who makes the paths? The divine will. But we feel that we are making the paths. We are running the paths. We own the paths. We are responsible for the paths. No way. Divine will. Everything is divine will. Upadesha Saram has cleared every single doubt in this corner. Very, very clear. So, if everything is divine will, why do I have to struggle? There's no point in struggle. Then, what makes us struggle? The ego. The I-ness is what makes us struggle. The belief in that I, the free will, I have that will, I can do everything, I can create everything. You can create certainly, but you have your limitations. You cannot create everything. Show me one person on the earth who has created everything, or show me one person on the earth who desired something and has achieved everything in life. You will not find a single person, however powerful that person is. You can include the rishis and all the great ones. You'll see that they have been great masters and great rishis and great Mahapurushas who have created many things in this limited existence, but you will see they still have limitations. Maybe at that moment while the creation is happening, there might be a feeling that it's easy and it's eternal. Like probably Ravan also felt. Now, Ravan I am not taking as a negative example. I'm just adding the greed into that. He was powerful, but what motivated him was the greed, the desires. Desires motivated him. So, when desires motivate, you can create even that which you do not want, which you do not need. That is the start of the problem. I'm sure Ravan could have survived even without a golden palace and golden empire, golden kingdom. What is the need for a golden kingdom? Is it anything other than desire? It is pure desire, greed for something. यही बनता है पतन का कारण. This only creates destruction. This leads to destruction. And you can see whenever there is a human being, he has gunas. Desires come from the gunas. And until there are vasanas, gunas, there will be desire. Even the desire to expand one's kingdom. A desire is there, even in spirituality, to expand the kingdom. And in Upadeshasaram, it's revealed very clear that we are not the ones who are the saviors of humanity. Because the rishis were telling that we are here to save the humanity with the Karma Kanda. And that is when Lord Shiva gives them the revelation that no, nobody saves humanity. Everything is happening according to divine will, which is operating everybody's karmas. According to the karmas, everybody enjoys or suffers. Nothing is without a reason. So, first of all, if anybody has fallen down and if anybody has hurt, that hurt is coming from some reason. So if somebody wants to save that hurt, saying that they should not suffer, then you're indirectly interfering into the karma of the repayment, because we know it very clear. There is no injustice in the world. Everything is cause and effect. Chidakasha Gita also talks about cause and effect. So everything, if it is a cause and effect, even the negative situations are cause and effect. That means if somebody is a victim, it simply means somewhere earlier that person made somebody else a victim. Now it has come back. So if it is happening on individual level, when human beings are put together, it is happening on a collective level. So there is individual karma and then there is collective karma. So everything, the whole drama that goes on in this planet Earth is just cause and effect, including the saving part, the saviors, even who are saving the one who is drowning. The one who is drowning because of the effect of karma. Now, if that person has also punya karmas along with papa karmas, because that is how the equation is, nobody will have only papa or only punya, they will have both. So, one karma, one cause leads to an effect, one deed leads to the karma of drowning, but that same person's punya also will lead to that drowning person to be saved. But if that karma is choosing somebody to go and save, for example, if somebody is drowning and I go and save, now if I go and save and I say I saved, there the problem begins, because that person was destined to be saved. Okay, person is destined to drown, destined to be saved according to their karmas. Everything else is just mediators. That karma only decides according to so many factors, who's the medium to be saved, who's the medium to be drowned. Even to drown, I can become the medium. Let us say we both are standing, two people are standing on the boat, and accidentally my oar or my hand hits that person and that person falls down into the water and is drowning. Now I became the cause. I had no intention, but I became the cause of that karma, that medium, to make somebody drown. And if I jump into the water to save a drowning person, then again I am just the medium for saving that person's life. The problem will happen if I start saying I am saving that person or I have to save people. We cannot save anybody that way. Everything is an automated process. We can only be a part of this whole drama that's happening. The big drama, cosmic drama, is called the play of consciousness. So that is why it is said we are all puppets. Now you must be understanding a clear thing. Why it is said we are all puppets. Everything is moving in a certain grid and we are in the grid. Even if you don't will, even if you don't want, still you will be thrown in this life. You just decide, I'm not deciding anything, still your life will run. Or you decide to do something, still your life will run. And I'm telling again, it will still not run the way exactly that you decide. Try it. I'm sure you must have tried it. There is no human being single on the planet who said that I decided this and this only has happened. Permutation and combinations, one might decide it, chances might be there, for that to happen. Maybe 30%, maybe 90%, maybe 100%. Now, what this depends? Why if I am the decider, why can't it be 100%? Because there are many factors running in my life. So, if two persons are sitting together and trying to decide something in life and to manifest something in life, both will not be able to manifest in the same way. If 100 are together, all the 100 will not manifest in the same way. If 1,000 or lakh or crores, they will all not manifest in the same way. Crore different ways they'll manifest. Why? If the law of creation is the same in everybody, why is the quality of creation differing? Because there are so many factors. Karma plays a major role. Your negative and positive karma plays a good role in deciding how much you create and how much you not. That is where I'm telling there is limitation. These are deeper wisdoms which are coming out. This is not my pravachan that I'm sitting and giving. You go and investigate. Of course, you will not be able to investigate until you have the yoga for it, until the time is ripe for it. But when the time is ripe, you will see automatically you will be investigating in these things and you will find solutions also. Whatever you seek, you will surely find the answers in the way you want it, or the way that you are expecting those answers, the intensity, depending on the intensity. These texts, what I'm speaking again here, are coming from that. So, the basics of this limitation of free will, if you realize it through your wisdom, deep wisdom, or through your experiences, you are out of many troubles. If you have not accepted it, or if you are unable to accept it, then also life creates such kind of situation where you will be compelled to reach this kind of wisdom. You will have to sooner or later reach that point, or life events will sooner or later make life situations in such a way that you have no other option but to turning there. Life takes care of everything. That is what I was telling even in Kanjanghat retreat. The biggest guru is life. Greatest of all gurus is life itself. Life teaches you, but nobody can teach you. Now, what is life? If you understand these tattvas that I am talking with, life is a divine grid, automated, intelligent grid. The cosmic intelligent functions through this, manages the grid. Till you realize it is very difficult or near impossible to kill the ego or even attempt to kill it. I'm not saying we are all clean of egos, including me, but what I'm saying is you will know and acknowledge that ego is functioning through very strongly, and ego is the root cause of everything. And you will want intensely to get rid of it sooner or later. That's the right path. Until you understand the whole problem is the ego, you will be undergoing many paths, many life lessons, only to lead you to this. But finally, it will make you realize, come what may, do what you want. But until you dissolve this doer, the ego, you will be bound by more and more karmas. There is no escape from karmas. Do whatever you want. Whichever path, whichever austerities, try out everything, but you will still realize that you cannot annihilate this karma creator, that is the doer, that is me, the ego. And often, when this is not clarified, or this is not very spashta, clear among seekers, they will attend to everything except the ego. They will not be able to attend to the problem creator itself, from where karma generates. And that is where the whole delays happen. That is where the struggle happens. That is where the gati stops. It might go to a certain level, but it will stop. But these are all very choiceless choices. We might feel we have a lot of choices. Who's the feeler? The ego. The free will feels, I have many choices to make. You don't have. If you actually ascend deeper into these truths, you'll see that actually you are left with no choices. If you don't believe this, you will see that life will teach us all that you have no other choice left. Many of the time, the people who come to deeper spirituality, you'll see they have no choice. They reach there without choice. I haven't seen anybody, including myself, where once upon a time I just said, everything is fine in life. Now I want to take that choice. No. I always have seen in myself and others that I have been led there automatically. You check out your own life and see. You might say you came here, you went there, you did this, you did that. But you'll realize that a certain series of events in your life led you to where you are today. You have not taken any decisions, but you always felt you have taken decisions. That is the catch. That feeling that I am doing it, because you are unable to be aware of this whole thing, is what leads you to more and more misery. And the doer, because it feels that it has to do everything, including attain self realization. That doer, which feels it has to do something to self realize, that doer, which feels that it has to now attain moksha, doesn't realize this also is a part of the series of that event, which is happening automatically without choice. Those who have done Upadeshasaram will clearly, crystal clear, understand what I'm saying. Those who have not may still not get details of it. That is why I'm telling these texts are that powerful and important to give you clarity. All these things, all these tattvas, what we are talking on, what I'm trying to do on this shifting into awareness platforms, is what will offer you crystal clear clarity in life and in your goal. There is no point if we are walking towards our goals with lots of delusions and illusions and darkness. Without clarity, we are walking, and all that we have, the adhara, the support, is people. Because we look at the population and we feel, okay, we are safe because somebody else is doing, this one is doing, that one is doing, this one has this belief, that one has belief, and my belief and their belief is all the same. So मैं अकेला नहीं हूँ. That is one good feeling. Bad feeling actually. A feeling that I feel that, oh, I'm not alone. There are so many with me because so many are thinking about me. Then see, the problem comes when I am thinking something and nobody is thinking that. I am contemplating on something, I am realizing something, but everybody else is something else. That sounds very scary. So, most of the time, I conform to others, not because I have realized the truth, because of my fear or because of my comfort. I will adhere to what the masses are doing. That is why I always constantly say, never catch the masses. Never catch the masses, because the masses also do not know what they are doing. Investigate and you'll find. Catch one among the mass and put some certain deep questions to them. Within minutes, you'll understand they do not even have an idea of what it is all about. Within minutes. Means there is no clarity. That clarity can come only when you are yearning for something beyond your limitations. When you are ready to go beyond what you know or what you have heard. When you can challenge the falseness concealed as truths, you need a lot of courage for that. Because that courage is your worthiness. That now you challenge your own beliefs, your rigid conditions, your set of patterns. Because somewhere from within, your viveka is telling you this is not aligning with the truth. And if this is not aligning with the truth, what is the truth? There your quest begins. And it is for those people. These things are for those people. Those who do not have the guts and courage to look deep within, and who love their own comforts and the comfort of the crowd, will never have interest in this. Crowd is unconscious life. So, who decides all this worthiness? Your karmas. What makes this path easy? Adhering to the divine will and dissolving the free will, that is the ego. Because once you fall into the bracket of that flow, it will just take you. Finally, we are talking more about the ocean and not the rivers. You'll see I'm not interested in any topics about the rivers. You check out any videos of mine in this past 2 3 years, you'll never find any talks on rivers. The whole practice and the whole focus of mine is on the ocean. And if ocean matters to you, the solution and the secrets and the details of the ocean shall be revealed to you, as simple as that. Why these things are not revealed to everyone? Law of nature. How can the secrets of ocean be revealed to one who is engrossed in the river? What you seek, you will receive. Which direction you seek, that direction will show up. Simple laws of nature itself. We know the laws of creation. What you focus on is what you get. So if your focus is limited only to the well, the frog in the well, the frog can only see the well. The frog will only know the well because the frog has never seen anything from outside the well. And it will not, the condition and the belief system of that frog, even if another frog falls from outside and tell there is a huge wide world outside there, this frog will slap that frog and say, what do you know anything? You do not know anything else. You don't know this is the frog and this is the well and this is everything. It will even go, the frog in the well will even go, can even go to the extent of convincing the frog that fell into the well that your real world and real life is this well. You're foolishly talking something. Why? Narrowed limitation, narrowed understanding, the focus, the The area of interest has not expanded beyond the well because, unfortunately, frog doesn't know anything outside the well. So, irrespective of how many frogs fall into that well, and try to tell this frog that it is in a well, it will not believe. That is what belief systems can do to you. Where do these beliefs come from? They are not your own. Somebody has gifted it to you. The first gift will be from your parents itself, who will give you the belief systems. And from there, you have endless teachers. When you go into school, your tuitions, your university professors, and so on and so forth, you will have enough teachers to tell you and talk to you and convince you about the well because they are also in the well. All that they know is the well. A chemistry professor can teach only chemistry. He cannot teach biology because that's his limitations. So biology teacher teaches you biology. Geography teacher teaches you geography. History teacher teaches you history. Mathematics teaches you mathematics, and zoology teaches you zoology. And you end up with bits and pieces of all the limited Gyan. Because these Gyans are coming from the free will, from ego consciousness, that we in this world exchange with the so called need for survival or existence. You'll see that your parents begin this whole catch, where parents teach you the first thing that you will have to survive here. Parents will first christen you and call you a boy or girl, then with your name, then link and give you diksha of your nationality, of your caste, of your religion. And once you get initiated into these fake identities, you as a baby will start practicing and learning and again, who am I? So the child will start practicing, who am I? If the child asks, who am I? The father will tell you, Ramesh. If another child asks the mother, who am I? It will tell, you are Sita. And they believe it. And so they begin this beautiful wisdom of the world, samsaric Maya world wisdom. And then from there, the yatra towards continuous belief system begins. Right from the time you are born, it begins. You are out of the womb. Welcome to the fake world. You are a part of the fake world, and here we will be enlightening you. Your diksha begins here, and you get an initiation. And every moment after that, you will get enlightening wisdom about who you are not. It will tell you all the limitations of this world. Not one person will tell you who you really are. Imagine your plight. You live all the 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, whatever years, believing so strongly every single moment of your life who you are not. And one fine day you decide to find who you really are. How easy do you think that's going to be? The biggest catch is going to be your own belief system. And very unfortunate that even in spirituality, we learn who we are not. The ego may get even strengthened in spirituality, which is what we call a spiritual ego. Here also we have so many identities. That is the reason I'm telling I can't differentiate worldly and spiritual. It's almost the same. If I look very closely, apart from the external alankar, the external appearances, internal fields are all the same. Belief systems here also are there. Whereas in spirituality, I have seen new belief systems being placed upon you. Some systems might eradicate, telling you, you are none of these. Remove it all. And when once you remove it, they will christen you with another who you are not. And then you have new set of belief systems, new concepts. And until you are utterly dismayed or disappointed with this, one day, one day, when the Viveka wakes up and questions it, and I'm not talking that Viveka which is 30% alert or 40% alert and it will question. It has no energy for questioning. It is just rising. I'm talking about the Viveka which is more powerful, maybe 80% or 70% at least. That will have the capacity to question oneself of what kind of a soup am I in. There the true yatra begins to realize who you really are and who you are not. To find out who am I should have the guts and courage to first find out very discreetly who I am not. Our problem is we never look into who I am not and we attempt to find out who am I. Very tough game. I sure don't want to play that game because I've played it once and I realize it doesn't go that way. Thanks to Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva is the ocean that I'm talking about. That ocean which does not have a feature, which does not have a body, which does not have a form, which does not have any qualities. I just talk about that ocean. All these topics that I'm interested in sharing is just about the oceans. I have nothing to do with the rivers. Saguna Rupa is also the river. All Saguna Rupas also are rivers that will lead to the eternal ocean of Nirguna, where you place your attention and awareness, that will manifest and you will reach that goal. If you hold on to any river or any Saguna or any form, that is all that you can reach to, which Bhagavan Nityananda completely discards in the Chidakasha Gita and says, don't fall for anything less than parabhakti. He says your bhakti is selfish. He says your bhakti is completely selfish. And until you get out of that selfish bhakti of yours, whoever, it might be to the Guru, it might be to the God, it might be to deity, it might be to the ascended master, it might be even to Bhagavan Nityananda. He calls all these bhakti as selfish bhakti. And he has no importance. He has not given any importance in it. If you see the amount of clarity that Chidakasha Gita is giving, you will be surprised. I'm just trying to refer to that. Bhakti is an inner experience of love, devotion to the God and Guru, or Guru, God or Guru. Just lending some money or giving some food is not bhakti. Lending some money or throwing some money, even giving a donation, even offering some amount into the hundi to the temple or priest, or offering a donation or charity, or giving food, annadanam, to the needy, giving clothes to the needy, helping the unprivileged. He calls it as selfish bhakti because there is a motivation behind that bhakti to get something. That is why I am not very fond of the Guru Bhakti also, which people demonstrate or we know because that's what we have studied. My Guru himself said at one point of time that people come to me for something or the other. Nobody comes to me without a reason. And we all know that. Even Bhagavan Nityananda said, all the great mystics said. Anybody who goes to a guru, anybody who goes to a master, obviously is going with selfish bhakti. However pure we may call it. You might say, no, I have nothing, no intention. Just to see you. Your darshan. दर्शन से क्या होता भाई? आपकी दृष्टि पड़े मेरे पे. दृष्टि पड़ने से क्या होता भाई? कुछ तो होता है ना उसके बाद. If your sight falls on me, something will happen. What will happen? Something will happen. There is a result effect for that. What can happen if your eyes fall on me? Oh, I have learned that papas get or sins get washed away. So there is a reason. To wash your sin only, you have gone to that person. You are not gone for the love of it. And that is when Gurudev once told me, people come always with something or the other. No one comes like that. He says, people might want health and come to me. Now, if they get the health, they will go away because that is all that they wanted. They got what they came for, they will go. And then another category where they might come and health is not, they don't get the health, they will say, oh, it doesn't work, and they will go away. So when they get what they wanted, they go away. When they don't get what they wanted, they go away. Selfish bhakti. Parabhakti means no duality. There is no worshipper and there is no worshipped. There is no giver and there is no taker. There is no receiving end, there is no giving end. I continuously pound this again and again, these kind of truths, because I don't want those people who are not in this frame of mind anywhere around here. I mean it. Because you won't get anything else here. If the same belief systems what you carry, if you come here, you'll get very, very deeply, badly disappointed. And I'm sure I will disappoint you. And I will ensure that I disappoint you. Because I don't want to keep you hanging in the loop. Either you return to what you're doing and enjoy what you do in your own belief systems, in your own fear and doubts and securities, or you dare to look at the ocean. Ocean that is deep within you, ocean which the mighty divine only is providing, and it's all around if you have the courage to look at it. Hence, I tell people, do not bring anybody here. Even for the retreat, somebody had recommended 2-3 people came, but I was asking them continuously, have you called them? or have they come? If they are coming, that's their inward pull that is getting them. But I don't want anybody marketing this in any manner. I don't market it myself. I just put things on my platform in full awareness. Whoever gets attracted to it with all the details, they will be there. I never publish any of these things to any other groups, anybody's pages. You'll never see these things being shared anywhere else except my platforms. So the idea and the goal is very clear. I don't suggest also anybody. I've never told even once share this into some groups, or I don't want you to share. I don't want to expand my kingdom. So parabhakti in 2 3 verses, Bhagwan has been very clear, very very crystal clear. There are at least 15 verses dedicated complete to parabhakti. So I'm just trying to find that one which was, yes, here it is. Verse 63, he says, Bhakti in the beginning is selfish. All the bhakti with which we get attracted to the guru or the deity or a temple or a religion or a path or a god, whatever you call it, that bhakti, that devotion, that interest that we have towards anything in front of us. He says bhakti in the beginning is selfish. A beginning in God realization will have in him the ambitions to become even spiritually great. The goal is again something else. However, as he advances in his practice, all his ambitions will vanish and his bhakti becomes perfectly selfless. When a man attains perfection, he will see God in his creation. The entire universe will then be to him his guru. This is a state when a person realizes in depth and his bhakti becomes selfless towards whatever that object of worship is. Then he doesn't look at that object, a deity, a guru, a path, a religion, a master, a guide, a teacher. They don't look at this person or this individual or this body as a fruit fulfilling machine, as a vending machine that you can extract and absorb and suck it out from that person, make use of that body, medium to get all your dishes, desires fulfilled. If you observe very subtly in deep discrimination, you will see these things are very strongly in us. It is important to get free from these kind of concepts, these kind of beliefs. Very, very important. Otherwise, the progress will stop after some time. When I mean what I mean by selfish, selfless completely selflessness means there is nothing to ask and nothing, there is nothing to give. You are so fulfilled that you don't want to ask or give anything. Anything. Just a moment. 285. Okay. Almost the last one. Bhagavan has been constantly talking about this repeatedly, the the essence, the importance of developing a parabhakti. If there is selfishness, even of the slightest, to give it up and merge in unconditional love towards that being. Because when you have unconditional love and nothing to ask and nothing to give, and that object of your worship and devotion becomes so strong, then there is no other alternative than both these getting merged. That is parabhakti. When you have parabhakti, the next step that you will get very easily to aapko dehao aapko bhajo, straight, because that object of worship has now merged within you. So there is nothing to be seeking outside. Now what you seek is yourself, because yourself and that object has become one. That is what is meant by aapko dhyao aapko bhajo. Meditate on yourself. That is the merging and closure of duality. That is what these secrets are telling, directly or indirectly. Because here he says, desireless bhakti. Mhm. The bhakti or the devotion or the love towards your God, Guru, religion, scripture, whatever that is, it should turn to desireless bhakti. No desires hidden, no hidden agenda in that bhakti. Purified bhakti. Desireless bhakti, he says in 286, desireless bhakti is not for the enjoyment of worldly happiness. You can see, if you have a guru or a master, this whole line tells us how ridiculous we are on the path. Just this one line. It completely breaks down the wrong intention with which we are having that bhakti, so called bhakti, which we proclaim so much. He says, desireless bhakti is not for enjoyment of worldly happiness. And if you see, our bhakti is only to enjoy worldly happiness. If we have a guru also, we are using that guru only for our sansaric happiness, only for our worldly happiness. Ye de do, wo de do. Yeah, if I follow you, if I do this, if I do that, I will get this, I will get that. Or I will be protected from this, I will not get into that. Conditional. This itself breaks the full wrong basis only which we have held our devotion, which he calls as selfish bhakti. That is the word called bhakti. He is not talking about bhakti. He is talking nothing less than parabhakti, and he is saying you must have nothing less than parabhakti. This desireless bhakti or parabhakti is not related to prakriti, nature. It is beyond the laws of nature. Nature means duality. It doesn't come under the catch of duality. It is beyond all the laws of nature or laws of duality. Then he says, this bhakti is not for getting rid of worldly difficulties. And what kind of bhakti we have? We have kept that bhakti only to get rid of worldly difficulties. We have held on to a God, we have held on to a guru only to get rid of our worldly difficulties. Check it out and see. We will be shaken up to see that we have been doing the wrong bhakti. That is why this bhakti has no gati. It doesn't take us anywhere. Completely conditional, completely for my own use. I use the guru, I use the God, I use the religion. Or rather, I must say, I misuse all these. I abuse these for my own needs and greeds. And then he says, there is no relation whatsoever between this bhakti and the worldly sufferings. He's saying there is no connection only between this kind of bhakti and sufferings. It has nothing to do with your sufferings. Bhakti has nothing to do with your sufferings. And if we look very deeply into our bhakti, we will see our bhakti has got everything to do with sufferings. That is why when we frown, when we have problems only, we will remember our Ishta or all these investments that we have made. We treat our masters and ascended masters and guides as bodyguards, personal security guards, only for our security, for our use. That's all. That is why the master once said, if they get it, they will go. Means what? Use and throw. Perfect example of selfish bhakti. And if they don't get it, they will go, leave and dump and go. Perfect example of selfish bhakti. And what is the example of this in parabhakti? There should be no taker, there should be no giver. Merged into one and the whole kissa khatam. The whole problem just ends because now there is no need, there is no greed to ask anything, because who's to whom to ask when you are one with that? And who will give you when there is no giver outside? See the beauty of Chitakasha Gita, what it's trying to tell. And I'm not reading the whole Chitakasha, just 1-2 lines, and you can see a whole wide dimension opens up. This is how we were meditating. We couldn't do the complete Chitakasha Gita. It's impossible. Maybe it will take 6 months if we sit with this. Hardly, I think so. We worked on a couple of verses, maybe around 25-30 verses in 3 days. And what is most important towards moving towards the self, that I picked out. And he says, no one should shrink back from this path of this bhakti, that is parabhakti. One should only proceed in it. I just took one example of parabhakti and bhakti because we are talking about conditions. How strong these conditions and beliefs are. We believe what we are doing is right. Why? Look at the masses. All the masses are doing the same. That's what I mean. If you follow the masses, if you all follow the crowd, they are all lost. These things are not clear to the masses. And I'm telling you, nobody is bothered also. Because maximum percentage is for some need. But if your need is beyond all that, if you want something that is more deeper, beyond all this give and take, this business, I call this business, deals, then only you can wake up and question and challenge your own belief inside. Now these I'm talking because once upon a time I challenged these in myself. I was not listening to it very carefully. Very rare. I haven't found anybody who can who I can talk to or who has talked to me about their life in similar manner. I would love to have such company. That shows the no availability, non-availability of this kind of that's what Bhagwan is actually trying to say in this. 1 out of 1 million will hanker after self-realization. 1 out of 1 million. And he adds there, the rest will hanker after the world. So now you see the population. Go by your inner viveka, which is what Ramana says is becomes your inner guru, the activation of your inner guru. And the external guru comes to activate this in you. The external guru leads you to your internal guru, which is what Ramana very beautifully defines. And he says, certainly when you go in this direction, a time will come when you will realize that the self, the guru, and the God are just the same. There is no difference between these three. Three. Till you call these three different, it has to be selfish bhakti. Because the moment it is two, there is a giver and taker. Automatically it happens. Give and take. Or you can say when the give and take ends, that selfish bhakti also ends. So breaking these systems, they're breaking this, having courage to break these kind of wrong belief systems. And I'm telling you, this has been still more emphasized by the spiritual systems only. Where spiritual system should give clarity in this, they have deepened this and made these kind of conditions even more stronger. That is where the whole catch is. That is why I'm telling you that I don't find any difference between the worldly and spiritual system. They are almost the same. So when the whole challenges are in the worldly life, and then you have equally good challenges in the spiritual life, I feel there is nothing else that can guide you better than your own guidance system with an awakened viveka. When I tried to awaken this in myself, there was a lot of fear. Obviously, that is where I'm speaking from. But due to fear only, we don't look into anything beyond these things. But life placed me in such kind of opportunities where I had no option. Then is when such scriptures started coming into my hands, because probably that is what I was unknowingly manifesting, because my needs were that. And the day these started coming into my hand, there was such a relief, because now I came to know that whatever I strongly felt from within, though there was not a single supporter outside, I'm telling you, not mincing my words. I was looking out everywhere, but in the crowd, not a single was affirmative about these things. And that makes it so challenging. But when these documents started coming one after the other and confirmed what I was thinking is truth, that was the biggest relief that I had. And then I never looked back. And the more I invested my awareness onto these deeper truths, the more they open, and the more they keep opening. And when I find this beneficial in my own journey, in clearing a lot of doubts, is from where the motivation and inspiration comes to me, that I can share it with others who have similar frequency and similar interests. Who are they similar? The few rare who have that intensity to look beyond the world and samsara and want to peep into the deeper truths, even with the attitude of come what may. Life will bring you to those kind of circumstances where, other than this, you don't need anything. You are not ready to settle for anything other than the ultimate truth of life. Sooner or later, you will be propelled towards it. That's how the divine works. So, all these kind of deeper scriptures that I'm on and often being guided to take up and talk about are for those who are very ripe. Because if you are not ripe, you cannot get this. You cannot understand this language. You cannot even relate anything to what is being said. You will have no interest in these things. The very understanding that if you even have a little interest or pull towards these deeper truths of life, is your eligibility, which comes only through grace. Somebody asked me, what is this grace you talk about, and how to improvise and get more grace? Here also, business deal. How to improve, how to increase, how to get more. That get more doesn't seem to go away very easily. Get more is pure greed, desire. The question can be reframed as, what is this grace about? And how can I know there is grace in my life or there is no grace? Grace is nothing but alignment. Alignment to divinity, alignment to the truth. The moment you align with the truth, in whichever way you want, any kind of way you want, the moment you align with divinity, with purity, with that light, immediately grace will start flowing. That is what is known as Guru Kripa, because Guru is a symbol of light and truth, a symbol of divinity and purity. So if you align with that symbol of truth, divinity, and purity, grace flows. That becomes Guru Kripa. If you directly align with the Param, the godliness, the supreme, it becomes Ishwar Kripa. So Kripa is nothing but deep alignment, proper, perfect alignment. The more perfect alignment, the more the grace. The lesser the quantity or quality of that alignment, the lesser the grace. That's how I have not read this anywhere, but it comes very deeply in my understanding that this is grace. In my practices, in the work I do, I see this fundamental happening very spontaneously. So, texts like Kaal, Gyan, not many will be ready to understand these things because this will break, shatter our old beliefs. Now, if it was different texts of different paths, it is understood. Oh, I am following this path. Then some other path says, no, this is not the truth. The ultimate, because that is what all the paths do, all the religions do. They claim that theirs is their only truth, which is false. Imagine if Bhakti Yoga says only through Bhakti Yoga you will attain. Imagine only if Raj Yoga or Gyan Yoga or Karma Yoga says only through this Marga you will attain. And if you see, all the humans who are connected to these paths actually claim it. Our Marga is the best and the only way. You will see all the religions also claiming this. It's only here. That is why all the fight about. What is the fight? The supremacy. That only here only is going to happen. I don't agree that anywhere else it is going to happen. Only here it's going to happen. So you better come here. And if you are not here, you are not the lucky one. You are unlucky. Whereas I have seen in every religion, every path, self-realized beings. Means it shows simply that everything works. And if everything works, what is the big deal in just respecting and simmering down and humbling down and saying, yes, all the path works. Whatever aligns to anybody, use that path, because according to everybody's nature, They are attracted to those paths because every path has a prakriti. You have certain gunas, paths have certain gunas. It is the like attracting the like. Similar gurus and similar disciples. The intention of the religions similar. Intention means the followers' intention, not the religion's itself intention. According to that will be the rest who follow, the crowds. And if you see, it's all scattered. That's why the rivers are good enough. But if you get obsessed with the rivers, you're limited. Because everywhere this game is going on that I am the best. Chidakasha Gita breaks all this and says oneness. Everything works. See no diversity in the world. Chidakasha goes to the extent of saying that have no discrimination even between a man and woman. Forget species. He says that don't even discriminate with gender. He says असली मर्द वो जो आत्म साक्षात्कार की जिसमें आत्म साक्षात्कार की तलब हो. The real man is the one who hankers after self-realization, Bhagwan says. And that man is not talking about man. He says even if a woman is hankering about after self-realization, that woman is a man, he says. It is not about external features at all, he says. A man and woman is known about the manlyhood in this interest. And he specifies further saying that anybody who is hankering after worldly stuff is a woman. You read it, you'll come to know it's there, exactly in that manner. So these kind of documents which we are, and tomorrow we are beginning 6 to 9 for the next 3 days. We are going to have that Kaal Gyan. Kaal Gyan is nothing but Lord Shiva talking to his better half, Devi Parvati. Now you might say, you just spoke that you are not aligned with forms, and here you are talking about forms again. I'm not talking about forms. Form is what comes to your mind the moment I say Shiva and Shakti. Why? Because of your calendar images. Jaggi Vasudevan said, if God appears in your meditation, ignore him. Sadhguru, what if Shiva appears? And he says, then surely ignore him. He's not talking about a God, because then Jaggi Vasudev very clearly says further that your idea of God comes from your calendar images. Bachpan se you are seeing the form of Shiva in a certain way, and you have embedded it in your mind, and then you are relating only to that Saguna form. So the moment anybody says Shiva, you will think that. And that form is what comes in your visions. And that is what he is trying to say. You can get caught up in that. Caught up in the hallucinations, because he says anything that is viewed in the format has its limitations. And I'm sure when I say this text of Shiva and Parvati, many of us will want to learn about it because we are coming from that religious bhakti, or we want to know about the Gyan of our God. You get it wrong. I'm opening this very clearly because you might still want to decide whether you want to join tomorrow or not. The Shiva format is nothing but the Satpurusha, the self. It is symbolically represented that the self, is communicating to the Chitta. The Sat is communicating with the Chitta, the Sat Chit, what you must have heard, which is together all the time. When they are together, it results in the blissful state of Ananda. That is why it is called Sat Chit Ananda. The feminine and masculine are together. The Nirguna Nirakara Shiva, from where the Shakti emerges. Shakti is embedded in that Nirguna Nirakara. The moment the creation has to take place, the Shakti moves out from that Satpurusha and begins creating around it. That is how the Shakti creates the whole creation, Prakriti. Shakti is responsible for creation, not this Satpurusha, the Sadashiva, which is also referred to as Parabrahman. Because that Tattva is just the witnesser, it is witnessing. A miniature form of that Satpurusha is you, who has a soul, a spark of the divine flame. That spark is known as the self. So your self quality also is the witnesser, the Satpurusha. The chitta around you is the energy that creates your life, your Brahmand, your individual life. You are creating just like that. Eternal Supreme Being is creating the whole creation is created, and the eternal being is just experiencing, witnessing it. Or you can say that Shiva, the Nirgun Nirakara, the no form one, is just aware of the existence that has been created by Shakti, the Chit. So when the Chit, from Chit emerges ego. The creator is always ego. Who is egoless? The Satpurusha, the witnesser, who has nothing to do with your creation or your destruction. It is that being that is eternally just the witness of all the activities around it. So the ego, the Shakti, has questions because the separation, the ego is the one that separates. And ego creates diversity. You can see the diversity in the creation. And all this that is scattered as diversity is all ego in bits and pieces. So it is the ego that is separated now that is asking, I'm separated from you. How do I get united? It's asking the cosmic intelligence that is only awareness, the Shiva, what you call Nirguna Nirakara Shiva, that is just a cosmic intelligence. So when that ego looks upon to that cosmic intelligence for answers, and when that question, that answers are just flowing out of that cosmic intelligence because it is the supreme jnana. Nirgun Nirakara Shiva is the supreme jnana. It already has everything. You just turn towards it and it starts flowing. That is where the Shakti is taking the cosmic intelligence from. And even if it has to merge back, the cosmic intelligence is the source from the source it is coming. So this whole conversation between Shiva and Shakti is nothing but this. If you put it in miniature form, it is me, the ego, trying to move towards the self. And actually, if you see, your life is just that. Who is the seeker? Who is seeking for truth? You'll see it is me, the ego, the doer. Who wants liberation? It is me, the ego, the doer. Who wants answers and who wants paths and who wants direction? It is me, the ego, the doer. Where will I get the answer? I close my eyes and contemplate deep within into myself. The cosmic intelligence starts answering and giving me solutions to everything. Now, do you understand the Shiva and Shakti conversation? It's me, this doer, that is turning within and communing with the self, and from the self, everything flows. That is what is meant by Shiva giving the Gyana. Kala Gyana is that. As I told you, I am interested only in topics of the ocean, and ocean is these kind of topics. The ultimatum can come only from the ultimatum. And for that, you have to first identify and know and realize what is the quality of that ultimatum. Then you can relate with it. Then it's easy to understand. So the whole conversation in Kaal Jnana is put in a very beautiful story format, you can say, so that people like us who are strong in our beliefs and who can only understand through storytelling or symbolism, because we are so outwardly drawn through the senses. Our beliefs are only in forms and concepts. So that cosmic intelligence is answering everything through concepts. So this is one of the tantric texts. It comes under Agam Nigam Shastras. It says Kalagyan is one of the tantric texts rarely known even among the people deeply interested in spiritual texts and scriptures. Sit in awareness if you are hearing these things. It will be easy to understand. This is just a preparation for tomorrow. So it is one of the tantric texts rarely known even among the deeply interested people in spiritual texts and scriptures, especially the chapter relating to the jnana or absolute truth became known to a limited circle in South India, where for the first time Bhagavan Ramana translated it into Tamil verses due to an inner spontaneous compulsion. The main method of practice that is discussed in this jnana is Niralamba Yoga. Niralamba means lamba. Alamba. Alamba means support. Niralamba means no support. So it says there should be no support for the mind like. That means the mind should have no more support in this text what we are discussing, going to discuss tomorrow. It is all about Nirlamba Yoga. There should be no support for the mind, like for instance, a form of God, chakras, mantras, yantras, etc., etc., etc. Nirlamba Yoga means it depends on nothing. This state of lack of any thought of either the world or any imagined God is called void or shunya. This is not the void of the Buddhists, where the ultimate truth is held as emptiness or void. Here, the state of absolute stillness of the mind without any thought whatsoever is called void. In this state, the awareness of one's being continues to exist. It's coming back to awareness in this state that is devoid of all alamba, no support of anything, yantra, tantra, mantra, when it is devoid of even the thought, ideas, concepts, philosophies, what remains is, he says, awareness. It takes us to the transcendental heights of a process of meditation where we can catch the supreme being directly. To remain in that mere being as Brahman or Parabrahman cannot be even called meditation, because it is something far beyond meditation also. Meditation also is a concept that in many places the text reminds of Ashtavakra Gita. What can be simpler and more direct method than this? Very beautiful. So more I'll discuss. I don't want to get more into this. More I'll discuss it when the program begins. And rest 3 days from tomorrow, we will be completely immersed in this. All those who are dedicated, seekers of the truth and ultimate truth, want to realize what came out from the source itself, and this is supposed to be the highest wisdom bestowed upon the Shakti, because there is nothing after this, because Shakti is conversing in this, that everything has been done. Now what, by what can I attain moksha? I'll read the first. I'll read the first question. What is the question that the Devi is asking here? She's saying, O Lord of all celestial beings, I yearn to know that path of supreme wisdom and the code of conduct by which one can get liberation, so that all humanity may attain salvation. I request you to enlighten me on them out of your grace. This is what Devi Parvati is asking Lord Shiva. And I explained who is Shiva and Parvati. So the Ishvara says, or Shiva says, O Queen among women, so that everyone may attain knowledge, I shall clearly explain to you today the highest knowledge and the discipline to be followed, by which discerning seekers will attain liberation, which is free from any blemish and is difficult to describe. Now he says, discerning seekers. What is discerning? Viveka, discretion. Those who can discern and go very subtly and realize. So he's telling this is for discerning seekers. Then he says, understand that the one who is not able to realize the truth in his heart by this knowledge of spiritual wisdom can never attain it by studying countless crores of shastras spread out in the sky. And then he says, therefore, Cast aside all your fears on following this path and shed all your doubts. Give up attachment or desire for anything, be it ardent in seeking the ultimate knowledge with wholehearted devotion. Be ardent, he says. Be sincere in seeking the ultimate knowledge with wholehearted devotion and with a clear mind. So, after this, Shiva gives the ultimate Gyan to Shakti. And this conversation is meant for the Shaktiness, the ego in us, the seeker in us, the one that is bond and the one that seeks liberation. This is the language that is coming from our own Sat or self. When we are unable to hear it from within, then it takes the form of such kind of texts and scriptures, the divine manifestation outside, which we through our Bahimukhi Indriyas will catch it from outside and take it within. Two ways. You can have it from here, or you can go deep within and be one so much in awareness that you become aware of these cosmic intelligent answers from within you itself. वासनाओं से घिरा हुआ विवेक जाग रहा है, लेकिन कब पूर्ण रूप से इसे ईश्वर निकालेंगे। बहुत बेचैनी होती है, दोहरी जिंदगी नहीं जी आती। आध्यात्मिक रास्ते पर चलना चाहता हूँ। कहाँ गया? I lost your comment. Hindi I cannot read very fast. चलना चाहता हूं पर ईश्वर कब कृपा करेंगे। मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया कि कृपा क्या होती है। कोई बैठा नहीं है कहीं पे कि आप पर कृपा बरसाएं। कृपा वो है जो आप जब जैसे अलाइन हो जाते हो सत्य के साथ अपने आप बरसना शुरू करता है। हम अलाइनमेंट छोड़ के अगर कृपा का इंतजार करेंगे ये सोच के कि कोई कहीं से हम पर बरसने वाला है, बरसाने वाला है, तो कभी ये होगा नहीं। पढ़ाने जा रहा है ऑल दिस। हिंदी बहुत लंबा लंबा होता है। Whatever that is, whatever it is, we are all desperately seeking and we are impatient. Who is impatient? It is the ego. Who is wanting it desperately? It's the ego. The whole battle is ego. The whole obstacle is ego. That is why it is said, मन ही करता मन ही भोगता। मन ही चाह रहा है मुक्त होना, मन ही अपना बंधक बन रहा है, मन ही उसमें बाधाएं ला रही है, मन स्वयं ही खड़ा हो रहा है उसके अंदर शंकाओं के द्वारा। Mind itself is standing as an obstacle and mind itself is seeking liberation. This is the quality of the ego and mind. That is why it is very important to realize this ultimate truth. It has to become obedient. Now, Shakti is asking the same question. If you observe, Parvati is asking the same question. How can I attain moksha? That means this Shakti has limitation. It doesn't understand itself how to attain that moksha. So it's asking the cosmic intelligence, the intelligent one, you tell me how it is going to be. So what she asking? I yearn to know that path of supreme wisdom and the code of conduct by which I can get liberation. This is what Devi is asking. What is the code of conduct and what is the supreme wisdom I need to know? And what does Shiva says? I shall clearly explain to you today the highest knowledge and the discipline to be followed, by which discerning seekers will attain liberation. And he says, understand the one who does not realize this truth in Kala Gyana will never be able to understand any other truth in even by studying countless crores of shastras or scriptures spread out in the sky. This is what Shiva is telling. So he's telling, because this is the highest Gyan. Telling ये नहीं समझे तो कुछ नहीं समझे. और इसके बाद you'll see Shakti as then Shakti is not फड़फड़ाइंग, बेचैन नहीं है उसके बाद, because the self is clearly telling you listen to this, you understand this, you will be redeemed. Now if Shakti is not listening or the ego is not listening, it has no time to investigate, it has no time to settle down and trust and meditate upon these words, precious words coming from the source or the self. Shiva's word also will be unheard. Impatience will not take us anywhere. Impatience will only avoid the flow that is coming from within. Impatience will obstruct the flow of Shiva. That is why Shiva says, if you don't understand this, you can never understand anything else. That is why total acceptance and receptivity is a must, which you can see Shakti in this full verse that follows till the end is Shiva speaking. Nowhere in between Shakti is restless and telling but, but one line comes and then but yeah, and I agree, oh Lord Shiva, but that but is enough to stop the flow and to get you carried away with your own philosophies, concepts, and beliefs. This feeling that I am unworthy, or this feeling that it is difficult, or the feeling that, oh, I've tried everything, what new? These are all your concepts, concepts of the mind. This concept only will be the obstacle everywhere. That is why I said the day seekers get fed up in the concepts and theories and realize there is nothing in this, they will just give up everything and sit empty. Empty vessels can be filled. Full vessels will make full of noise inside. It will have lot of buts and ifs and clauses, conditions, never ending questions, impatience. Our catch is the same. Once we know that it is coming from the eternal source and it is clearly mentioned word by word that the whole truth is in this and this truth will liberate you. If the Supreme is communicating this to you, all that we need to do is pray, pay full, complete 100% attention in complete absorption, receive it, and act upon it. Rest all is nonsense. Rest all is invalid. And that is the reason I will not take any questions, anything in the next 3 days questions. In the next 3 days, it is only one-sided flow that is coming from Shiva, which I am trying to just communicate what he is trying to say and trying to elaborate and make it clearer in simpler words. So all that you need to know is what's coming, and the clarity of that subject. That's all. Ifs and buts with any you sit, I would suggest you don't sit, because what is coming through will not come in fully. It will get obstructed and we will remain in the same condition. Even after this, also, if I open any other great text, the mind will be there again present with if and buts. This is a never ending process of the mind. Every session, I often say about worthiness, the eligibility, and every session we sit with our belief that is more stronger than this truth, saying that, but my belief says I am not yet ready, or that these problems are more powerful, or the mind is powerful, or that God is not putting grace on me. When will my time come? The time will never come, because this is the play of the mind. If you have kept this thorn, this nail of when will my time come, even after infinity, you look back, this thorn will be still there and it will ask, when will my time come? Because time will come and go. We will never catch the time. We will never catch the truth. We will never catch the ultimate, because we are busy doubting ourselves. When we doubt ourselves, we doubt even the Supreme or His communication. I know of many beings, many souls who are in Ramanashram, very ardent followers of Ramana Maharshi Ji, who are practicing his tattvas, or believing to be practicing his tattvas very strongly, and have told me that they are for years following his teachings and meditating in his ashram. But then, the moment I open the Upadesha Saram and start conveying, the same people object and say, no, but this thing can be challenged. This verse doesn't suit right. It is questionable. I say, you don't trust me, you don't trust these things, it's okay. But it is coming from a source which you say you have full trust in. And now you're challenging at least that source. I understand it may not make sense to you. That's all different case. But these beings are not casual beings. People like Ramana are not casual beings where they will just say anything. They have full authenticity on the subjects that they speak. Nisardat Maharaj, Nityanand Bhagwan, Sai, they have full authority on what they speak. And if we cannot trust them, what point it is to call that we are followers of them? What kind of a trust is that? Because until we have complete trust in what we are doing, it will never help us. Even if it doesn't appeal to our minds. That is what happens when we go to the Guru, when we go to any other higher orders, which knows something better or more than us, which has more experience than us. When we are going to that kind of a object, it simply means you be receptive to what is coming through. But if at every nook and corner there is this obstacle of the mind that raises its hood all the time, questioning the other or questioning oneself, what progress can happen? The main challenge, the main enemy is the mind. That is why I'm teaching awareness. Because when you get into awareness, there is no mind. If you don't get into awareness, you will sit there with the mind. That mind which has all those old systems, those beliefs, those patterns, those conditions, those vasanas, those karmas, those impurities. If you operate through that mind that is filled with all this, what else can happen? That is why I said before, in between this live also, get into awareness and listen. Because when you are in listening in awareness, your mind will be just shut down. And tomorrow, day after that also, your mind has to be shut down. I'm not saying you got to just close your eyes and just know nothing else and just take it like a command. It's not a command. You can ask questions, but there is time for that. If there is any doubts that is very genuine, you can definitely ask, it will be answered, but not while receiving these things. The fourth, as I told you, I read this out. I'm reading it again. Shiva continues telling Devi, therefore, cast aside all fear and shed all doubts. Give up attachment or desire for anything. Be ardent in seeking the ultimate knowledge with wholehearted devotion and with a clear mind. Shiva knows the prakriti of the mind. That is why this condition first only has put it. Sit there and just be in the complete absorption receptive mode. Throw your mind away. You can't throw it. Get into awareness. Tomorrow we will be in awareness, and all these practices we will do in awareness. Even in the retreats, we do the same. There is no unconsciously listening or sharing. It's everything is conscious. Even the one who is sharing is consciously aware. The one who's listening is also consciously aware. Then the transaction happens. Once that the whole thing is over, then you have any question, that's a different thing. Because the mind will interfere and still it wants clarity. Clarity has to be given, it will be given. But in the process, let us be quiet. Because only if I am quiet, also it will flow. And that is the reason I'm doing this regularly Zoom sessions on clarity. Clarity simply means that you ask all the questions and clear it out. There's no doubt about that. We will do that very regularly because all your doubts has to be cleared. Do not assume anything in this journey. It can cost. So, but while the transactions are happening, at that moment, let us suspend all activities. So, in case you feel you are out of the time zone or different countries, I got messages from some of the countries that it's out of time zone. Do not worry, go ahead and register it because I will be sending only those people who are registered the recordings also. If you are seriously you want to get it, if you are serious about these kind of topics, there is a solution to it also. It will happen. Do not think it as a recording. It's not a recording. You will see that even if you're seeing the recording, you will have the live experiences of that. Because these are matters of the consciousness, not the mind and ego. But I would still like to keep it only for registered members because that is your commitment. I would not be doing it live on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere. Nor will I share the recording later with the public. It is only meant for the people who can be in this zone, who understand what we are saying, who have trust in these higher scriptures and truths, and who can trust me also, that I'm also part of it, because if I'm rendering it, you need to trust me also. If you have no trust, there is no point. So if you can align with these things, most welcome. I look forward to that little short small group of people where we can fully be aligned with complete apt concentration, devotion, and gratitude. And things will happen. Now, if you have any questions on anything, you can please ask. Rekha ji, can we get PDF of this and that? See, you hunt it. I am sure the moment I put up these banners that I'm going to open up the scripture, I know many will just Google it and find out and all that. If it was in Google, it was already there. It is still there. Upadesha Saram is there. You take out the PDF, you read it, and you tell me what have you understood out of it. There are all documents, anything you can search and find out. But the intensity with which it has to penetrate into your consciousness cannot happen until your consciousness is raised to a certain level. That is what we precisely do here. Consciousness has to be raised, and only in that awareness the same scriptures or scripts appear completely different. So what you can do with your casual mind is something different with what you can do with your mindful of awareness. What you can do with your consciousness. They are completely different, two different ball games. That is simply one why we know that everything is all around. All the holy books are around. But then why don't we get to know about it? Forget all these scriptures. You tell me, how many of you have read this? You'll get PDF copies, you'll get printed copies. What have you done with it? What have you done with this? You will get Tripura Rahasya printed copies. What have you done with it? You will get Ashtavakra. What have you done with it? This is just the greed of the mind. That's all. Just the greed of the mind. That it wants to just hold on a grip. And here I am telling, trust the zone, but our free will is not ready for that. Our free will wants to work on our own will also. Yesterday I was sitting in Kanjangad. I'm a little sleepy because I have not had sleep for a long time now. Today I'll sleep nicely. Yesterday I was sitting in Kanjangad, the ashram, and there were many visitors in the ashram who were looking at all the retreat members, and they were having interaction. And they were asking who are you, from where you came, because many were not looking like South Indians. They were talking English or Hindi. That's very unfamiliar in Kanjangad because you have only Keralites there mostly, or English guys. So they told these things are going on, and then they were curious, and now everybody is observing this group, this whole group, which for 3 days is so dedicated. They are only with themselves, hardly even talking or moving around with each other. All are separately in their own world. I didn't tell them to do that, but they were all that way and fully focused, fully aligned. Many of them in silence. Many didn't want to speak. Many were not speaking. I didn't tell them. We had no rules that you become mauna or something, but we were accepting their situations. They were liking to be that way. And the whole group was so dedicated. Like there was a man who came up. We were sitting in Bhagwan Nityananda's temple and having the night sessions where even if we are talking, we are in state of awareness. And when we were doing the practices, within minutes, everybody is in deep samadhi states. So that man had come to meditate on top and he was looking at the whole process of what's happening. He didn't understand first, but then he saw the rapt attention and silence and the alignment of each and every person. No distractions and no things like that. So he had heard a little bit sitting there and then he went. And then his wife also wanted to know about this and she was talking to many, and that's how she met me in the evening. We were sitting on the bench in front of the caves and talking just yesterday night at, yeah, say almost the same time, 1 hour back. And beautiful things were happening there yesterday also. I think I can share it with you. And she was very much interested and she wanted to join these things, and she said okay, we'll do that. And that's how she has joined the group. I think she must be here also. And then her husband, I had never spoken with her husband, but I had seen him 2 3 times and he seemed to be a very serious person, because sometimes at 11 o'clock I saw, when the caves close at 5 o'clock in the ashram, but he used to sit in front of the door in the cave at maybe 9 o'clock 10 o'clock. Then that day we were having session, he was sitting on top also, and all the time he's moving around meditating here and there. So I knew he's some serious seeker, but I didn't know he is the husband of this lady. So this lady talked everything and she went. And the whole thing was 2 days she was trying to catch up with the whole thing, and we were so busy. I said, I'm also busy. And she said, whenever you're free on the final day. I said, okay, I'm moving around here, I'm not going out. We can discuss anytime, whatever you want. But I cannot give you a time because I don't know when I'm free. But I'll be here. If it is destined, we will catch up. Yoga is there, we'll just catch up. And then what happened was, I was sitting yesterday, because yesterday was the only day I was free. At around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I was sitting on the bench alone. And this lady's child is there, small baby. She was put to sleep in the room. She woke up. She woke up and started saying, I want to go for a walk. For a walk. And this little girl brought the mother outside, forcing her to walk. And she walked right in front of me. And the mother came and she said, oh, you're here. I said, okay, now sit, you can talk whatever, I'm free. And she sat and talked for an hour or something, 1.5 hours something. All what her deep things were and understanding. But she seemed to be familiar and having a good ground, because she said she was associated with Patriji, Pyramid Valley, very close to him. And even conducting programs for him and all that in different places. That Patriji has come to her home and all those things. I could understand, because she was mature enough to understand that much. But she was seeking some help, which I told. She said she will attend the webinars and all this. That's how she joined. Now the child was there for 1.5 hours. And the moment we finish our talks, what she wanted to listen, what she was supposed to listen to, usually what happens when we finish our main work and the work is over, whatever, which I always say, we must only talk that which is important. Until it is important, don't open your mouth in conversations. I do that very strictly, even with the group. I'm not available for anything else other than the tattva that I talk for. So if somebody comes and asks me, how are you? Good. But anything further than that, where are you going? When are you going? Or have you eaten something? where do you live, anything other than that, which is I consider nonsense. I don't encourage it. So yesterday the lady also was talking, where do you live? I said that is none of any interest. It's not going to help you. What I do, where I live, and all that. Let's come to the point. Let's complete this. So momentarily it moves whenever I'm having a conversation, it moves towards Vishayavasana. And we are talking Sadvasana. The moment that happens, I shut down. I feel my work is over. And yesterday, that point came after all the deep churning of uh, talks we were having. Then everything, when it got clear, then it became very casual talks. And I was sensing that. Right then, the baby started again crying. I want to go and sleep. I said, take the child and go. She wants to sleep. And she got up. The mother got up with the baby and she was going. Then I told, look, the baby was the medium who woke you up, brought here, and what you had to listen to, that much only. Now the baby is taking you back. After your work is done, nothing else. Faltu ke, bekar ke, koi charcha nahi. And she laughed and she said, yeah, I can see that. I can see that very much. And the lady went back. Ganpati ji was there with me, and two other people were there from the retreat. And they were all asking again, how are you going? How are you going? Three, four of them were there. How are you going now? When is your train? I said 12:30 midnight. When are you going? I said, I don't know. I pick my bag and walk on the railway track. Railway track, if I walk for 20 minutes, I will reach the railway station. I don't have to go all the way. And I've done it many times. Because usually in Kanjangad after 10 o'clock, you don't get auto rickshaws. And I didn't want to think about it. What will happen will not. I've lived my life that way. So I'm telling continuously, what will happen will happen. I'll go somehow. I'll go somehow. And then what happened was our conversations were going on. It was around 10:30 at night. And then everybody got up. I said, you all also leave. Now the rest of the people who are there, you all also leave, go back to your room. And let me also go now, pick up my bag and put on the things and just leave. How I'm leaving, even I never didn't want to think it. Whatever happens, I'm that moment. So then what happened was we were just parting our ways and saying bye. And I was going to go to my room. There is an alarm bell there in the ashram, which I believe they communicate to something. That just went on very loudly. It was going on. And me and everybody looked, where is the noise coming? And loud. So I ran to the watchman and said, what's happening? And he said, oh, this gets stuck sometimes. And that went on for almost 1 minute, 60 seconds. And then after that, it stopped. And then we said goodbye and all. And we were about to go. And when I was moving towards the building, towards the room, a man was standing there. And I was talking to Ganpati ji, I'm taking my bag and coming. I'll walk down now. At 11 o'clock, I'll walk to the station on the railway tracks. And this man is asking me, shall I drop you? I said, you can. You have some vehicle. Yeah, I brought my car. I've come from out and I have my car. I said, okay, if you feel that is. Then I said, I think I looked at him closely. It was the same man who was meditating around and who had come up and sat and all that. And then I realized this man is the husband of that lady. Oh, I said, good, nice to meet you. I was just talking to your wife. She said, yes, she told me about it and all that. And she's interested in learning. I said, okay, we'll do that. I said, then give me some time. I'll just in 10 minutes get my bag and come. I went to my room, picked up the whole, locked up everything, give the keys, and came. And he was there in the car waiting for me. And we drove to the railway station. Then I could see how Bhagavan just arranged that thing also without having to worry. At that hour at night, it was arranged. And he came and he was talking in the car. We talked for some time. Then he said, can I wait till the train come? I said, most welcome. Then we parked the car, and then we went to the railway station, and we talked for almost 1 hour. A lot of deep conversations we had, and he seemed to be a person whose viveka is active, and he can see the catches of the practices, spirituality, and he was very open with it. And he said, I've been in this, I've been in that, but finally I'm here sitting, coming and sitting near the caves only because I can't relate with most of the things that I've practiced, or I don't see conformity in it, I don't see authenticity in it. And whenever I question, it's a big challenge. So I'm hunting for that ultimate truth, and which I find I can find it here, because this is one tattva that I'm coming here for, to Kanjangad. That's how we got talking, because I realized that that's my nature, that's exactly what it is. And we talked for a long time, and then the train came and they left, and I caught my train. But then I remembered that person. I asked that person in the car, don't you have any sleep? I mean, it's close to 11 o'clock, the whole ashram, everybody has slept, you are only awake here standing. He said, no, I was sleeping. But then some bell rang very strongly, so strong I had to come out and stand here. What is that bell? Meantime, you came, and then we asked. That bell was that whole trigger. That bell was the medium. See, like the child was that medium for the lady to have that conversation. The bell was a medium that we both had a conversation, and I got a drop to the station. Unexplainable. But it happened. And we both laughed over it, the station, when we talk. Because he only said this. I had a realization, oh, that bell did it. And he was telling, भगवान ने घंटी बजा दी और आपको छोड़ने बोला और ये कॉन्वर्सेशन होने के. That's how when you go with divine will, with the divine will in existence, allowing the existence to take care of you, it knows how to take care of things, and rest all is not my business. If you go in that manner, which I know is difficult, but not if you keep practicing the path of awareness. Awareness means divine will. Free will starts reducing there slowly, slowly. So all these practices, all these webinars are aimed towards that. You're most welcome to join tomorrow's. I got registrations coming in. It's good. I've kept the most minimum, hardly like $200 or $6, which is something like 65 rupees a day, 3 hours into 3 days. Now nobody should have that complaint of, oh, it's I cannot afford it. Now if somebody says I can't afford 65 rupees a day, then I feel it's okay. Then you don't afford this whole session also. It all is based for your commitment, how much committed you are, how much sincere you can be. Because in lives, people keep walking in and out, comfort and time pass, curiosity, or otherwise मुफ्त में कुछ पाने की. That it's a different kind of a desire to only get something, and you don't want any price to be paid for that, not in money terms. Even you don't have that price to pay with a certain, even a thank you also. I'm not sitting here for thank you, but I'm telling you, it will not fructify, because the moment you go in a very what you call a gross and a dead way of approaching it, or a very arrogant way of approaching it, or one way kind of approach towards these things, and jitna ho sake le, it will never happen. I'm telling you, it's a two-way transaction anywhere. I tell that, it's not about money. There are people who could not afford in even these retreats. It was reduced for some it was some, all those things were done. It's not about the money. I even told if if these things happen, even if you maintain gratefulness, gratitude, which you again need not tell, but from within, you will clear the karmic debts. Otherwise, you will get into debt trouble. The give and take trouble will always be there. You will become rini for all these things, which we don't want. I'm sure on the path of liberation to hold on to any kind of karmic debts with anyone. So never have that approach of only one-sided take away. Very wrong. It will become a hindrance in your, even if you, I'm not talking again, I told you of money. Even if you can't pay back, not just me, anybody, have gratitude, overwhelming gratitude. You, that is why Gurudev always said, bless others, thank others, be grateful, gratitude, attitude of gratitude, thankfulness, appreciations, bless others. This is the reason, because you clear your karmic debt, because you have taken, you give at least even a pray for others. You pray for others. You have given back something. So that's a very high spiritual zone where it is telling you not to get caught up in anything else. So these things I will continue in this manner only. There will be a price for everything, and I've kept it very low also. You can choose your things and all that, and there is no other way out. Even the groups and all that is very limited. If anybody wants to join, can most welcome join, and then you will be able to get in other good things that happen, like clarity sessions and Zoom sessions. We have regular discussions, other live sessions than this, which I can discuss publicly. I come here, which is not supposed to be public. I never use here. It goes into that group. It's a WhatsApp group, not a group also. It's a broadcast group. Nobody is added into a group. You just post it and people just get it. Usha Mehta, how to register? It's all there. I'll put the whole link. Many times I've put it. Even in most of the posts, I'm putting it. So if you get into that, it's very easy. It's shifting to awareness.com and events. It's a common form out there, very simple form. Here it is. I've put the website. You can register through that. No, you will not get a WhatsApp broadcast link so easily, so fast. I mean, not easily, so fast. You must have registered, but I also sent a message to everybody that you will get it tomorrow morning. See, that is why I'm telling you, I suggest that you be in touch with the group, that you subscribe to the messages. Many people don't want messages, that's okay. But then if updates are there, I cannot go and individually post message to everybody. That's my problem. So I just add you in the broadcast group, and the moment I send one message, it goes to everybody, whoever is there. But they will not know each other. It will come like a personal message. That's why I say sign up. Very easy. After that, for all communications, in one stroke only, you will get everything. So until then, it's very difficult, because here I don't do most of the communication. So the same form which is there, shifting into awareness.com/events, if you sign up for any event, you automatically get updates, because your WhatsApp number you are adding there, it starts coming then. It just starts coming after that. And I think the coming Sunday, May 7th, I'll be in Goa. This coming Sunday only. We have a satsang there, 9 to 1 o'clock, I think, and it's somewhere in Vasco. I'm still not clear of all the details. If anybody is from local Goa, can definitely shoot a message here, internal messenger, or you can subscribe to the same link here, and you will be told the venue, where the venue is. It will not, the venue dates we don't disclose on the internet. It is only for the people who are registered or who have signed up for these updates. So Sunday I'm in Goa personally for a 4-hour session, and I'm just there for one day. And then I think May 13th is inner child healing, which I had put long back, 1 month back. that is in connection with the forgiveness. This, so those who have done forgiveness thing can, may be interested for this, for deeper things. Inner child healing is all about your personality that you build up with all this wrong belief system, like what I told today. Your mother, father, they've started giving you the belief systems, including a whole life. You have learned it from the world what you are not. And in that process, while you grow up, you have a lot of issues in life or lacks in life, what you didn't receive in your childhood, or what you then suffered and forgot. All these becomes barrier in your adulthood. We don't realize that most of our conditioning are coming from that hurt child, that child within, which could not completely grow, child within. So we address those issues there through some processes, and then we release that, those conditionings, and we get the inner child to become healthy and happy. When your inner child becomes happy, you will see that your life starts becoming like a child. What makes you not like a child is because your inner child is hurt. Even if you can't become as simple or pure or divine as a little child, or as casual or as free flowing, as happy, truthful, those are the qualities of child, then there is certainly some damage that has happened which is preventing you from that. So we all have this inner child hurt, some or the other reasons, which we forgot then, but our subconscious doesn't forget it. From there, new patterns are developed, and they become big blockages in our life. Something like even as simple as not getting attention, the child in the childhood, or not getting love is enough. If that is not healed properly, you will become an adult that is constantly seeking for love and attention from people, and you will have multiple failed relationships and nothing will work, and you'll still be empty handed, and you'll still be like that child that was deprived of love and support. So it just means that life is just continuing enacting it whole throughout the whole life, the same loop of events keeping happening, like what happened in the childhood. That is because of that pattern that has got blocked in the psyche. So this inner child healing is completely about healing that inner child. If you are interested in something like that, you can sign up, same link, shiftingintoawareness.com/events. And then I don't know, I might do a combined forgiveness and divine presence program, because people are asking for it, asking also for forgiveness. So I thought I can combine and do that, because they are majorly important program in unraveling this self, in healing a lot of things, in finishing karmic debts. Those programs are very powerful, and especially in activating your divine presence and beginning to live in your presence. The the retreat people of Chidakasha were very fortunate, because we've completely, that divine presence, we focused on Chidakasha within us, and they all learned how to be on the Chidakasha, because Bhagwan has promised those who are constantly in there Chidakasha will attain it sooner or later, self-realization. And one thing to keep your attention on the Chidakasha is that if you are leaving early the body, you will be conscious, because all the time your attention is on the Chidakasha. When the time comes of leaving also, you will be very alert. You'll be very conscious, because all your life you are invested in practicing being aware of your Chidakasha. So that's how powerful this Chidakasha Gita is. So that is what I was telling the team. Don't focus on anything else. Bhagwan has given us the Gyan through this book. Contemplate, meditate on the Gyan, understand, realize it. And Bhagwan has given the caves to practice the same, because the cave is nothing but Chidakasha. I revealed those secrets how. The cave is a Chidakasha and we have a Chidakasha. Both, when we sit together, are merged in one. That is called Chidakasha. Anyways, that if you are interested, that we will be having in September or October, the next session in Kanyangarh. That's probably a beautiful time because it's greenery time and it's colder. Now it was hot. That's a very beautiful time when Kerala is very lush green, and that time we will be having not 3 but 4 day, 4 or 5 days event, because there are a lot of things I felt that could be done, including one trip down to the Avadutas and Jiva Samadhis, which are very powerful, and including Koilandi, the place of Bhagwan, where Bhagwan was found as a baby, and all those places. So that we couldn't do due to time problems. So I think 4 or 5 days is what I'm planning next in Kanyangarh. I will let you know. The dates won't be disclosed again. Disclosed date and any other details will not come up online. Only the rough month will come, September or October. And then when you sign up for these events, only those people will know. That's the regular process for all the programs. So you have to be in that signed up list to receive any other updates, because I certainly don't want to update live public just like that. Only those who are focused on that and who are keen on that. And how to know you're keen? When you sign up, I know you're keen. If you cannot sign up, I know you're not keen. Whatever divine reason it might be, agenda is something else. So that's all fine with me here. So somebody has written down here: grateful, gratitude, and full faith. Last week I got this message through chapter 11 of Gita, and I is that I need to increase my eligibility rather than asking things from the universe. How to increase? Okay. For that, I would suggest you listen to these live, you listen to these, you do the webinars that you feel connected, because all these go towards that end only. So it's very difficult to tell this in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and because it's all interlinked, so many details are there. It's very, very difficult. But if you are a sincere follower on these wisdom here, then you will easily get it. It's not a big deal. Many have got it. And those who meet and they say, they are the people who are telling, they see the progress in them. They see rapid progress in them. And that progress, when you see, is your conviction. That is the proof. That becomes your inspiration. You don't need anybody to come behind you with a whip or stick to move you. And I don't move anybody. I don't encourage anybody. I don't motivate anybody. We just do our work, and then people, if they are seriously doing it, they get self-motivated. And self-motivation is your best motivation, rather than depending on anybody else. So when we talk about these tattvas, it is very important. Yesterday I was telling the lady there in Kanyangarh, because everybody talks like, I'm a bhakta, I'm Bhagwan Bhakta, I'm a devotee of Bhagwan, I'm a devotee of my Guru, I'm devotee of God, whichever, I'm devoted to this ashram, that ashram. But if you see, they might be devoted to the that form, but they don't have understanding of the teaching. Like for example, I might say I'm a Nityananda devotee. Devotee means what? Holding on to him for some kind of personal need, which is what Bhagavan is saying, selfish bhakti. For something for myself, like for example, protection. I know Baba is there with me. I know he is there with me. That's all. That's all we can do. You finish your whole lifetime, you'll just know that he is there with you. Knowing is not enough. Application of what he taught is very important. For that, we need to first at least get a glimpse of what did he teach. That is why I asked the people yesterday. There are so many people who know Nityananda, who love him and all that, but hardly anybody has opened this book, and hardly is anybody is interested in his teaching. So what kind of a bhakti is that when you say, I love that master or that being, but I'm not interested in the teachings? गड़बड़ हो गया फिर. That is where the lack is. That is where you see a person will just be a devotee and will die a devotee. Being a devotee is not wrong, but the devotee should turn his devotee's devotion should turn into desireless devotion, which is parabhakti. So the aim of getting in touch even with Nityananda or whoever your guru is to align with the principles of what they are teaching. For that, you first need to investigate and understand and realize what are they teaching first of all. If we do not even know what is Chidakasha, which is his main concept, which is what he tried to teach his whole life, and you can see his intensity in some places where he's even calling desperate names like, oh beggar, telling you, beggar, get out of that worldliness. He's insisting that you must do it in this lifetime. There are so many phrases that way that he's talking very, it shows his intensity in that. It's like a frustration. I'm telling you and you're not understanding. I'm telling you and you're not understanding. So it gets deeper and stronger of what he's talking. So it just shows that he wants us to understand what he's talking about, understand the tattva, and there is where the whole solution is. Okay, I read all your messages and thank you for it. And I think it's late today, so I'll end this session today here. Look forward to meeting all of you who have registered, and we'll have a good time for 3 hours again. Very deep and intense, aware moments of realization of truths, and we receive it directly into our consciousness so that they become seeds of the wisdom that will bring out its fruit whenever the time is right. Lots of divine love and light to all of you. May we all be blessed. May we all be free. Gurudev Sharanam, Guru Mandal Sharanam. Stay blessed. Bye.